Guys, I want to do a small introduction about my DrunkPodcast23. I'm not advocating about consumption, excess alcohol. Always remember, drink responsible. And my idea of DrunkPodcast23 is no one speaks a lie after 2 or 3 shots of whiskey. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Drunk Podcast 23. Today we have amazing guest, Mr. Channa M. Rodrigo. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming, even it's your busy schedule. So tell me about yourself to our guest.
Well, where do I start is the question.
Yeah.
I came into the industry a few years ago. So I entered the industry when I was quite young.
Okay.
I wanted to meet people. That was my thing about hospitality. I ended up in a hotel school, did my management, started working, and came to Dubai, not purely by choice, but because someone invited me to come.
Okay.
And I initially thought I'll be here for a couple of years, 2-3 years.
Okay.
You know, that Dubai dream, make a little bit of money, go back home, build a house, buy a car, get married, have 6 children. Well,
6 children, that's interesting.
That's what you always think about. But then again, you know, things changed.
Oh, yeah.
So I came into one of the luxury properties opening at the time, which was back in 99.
Back in 99, I was only 4 years old.
And yes, I've been here ever since that. So I worked mostly with hotels.
All right.
Going into various different companies, worked in restaurants, worked in bars, worked in nightclubs. But I have never had the opportunity to work behind a bar.
Okay.
As much as I love the job, and as much as I love seeing people work behind the bar, I've never worked behind the bar. My earliest memories were going back to 1995 when I was a trainee, and my barback duties included squeezing 10 boxes of oranges, cutting pineapples, slicing watermelons for the main service bar, and wiping glasses. That was my earlier bar experience.
Okay.
But then along the way, you know, I worked alongside some fantastic professionals who worked behind the bars at all times, and I was always impressed by what they did.
Okay.
And so the bar has a very close place in my heart.
Okay.
Even though I left hotels about 2 years ago, I still get fascinated by what they do behind the bar.
Behind the bars and in the industry. So, as you mentioned, you came in 1999, right? So I'm sure when you come here, it's completely desert.
You're right. Dubai was a completely different place back in 99. The only bars I could think of at the time was they had the Hard Rock Cafe.
Hard Rock Cafe, okay.
Which is now shifted to Festival City. So that was the original Hard Rock Cafe with the guitars. They had a bar called Atlantis at the time. So that was close to our accommodation. That was a close place. We had the famous Rattlesnake at the Metropolitan. And then further down in Dubai, there were a couple of bars, you know. So those days, going to a bar was either a pint, a bullfrog, or a Long Island iced tea.
Wow.
That was as fancy as it got. But over the years, in the last 23 years, the bar industry has evolved so much where it is no longer just mixing drinks, but it has become a technique. Exactly. It has become an art.
Exactly.
So people really need to put in a lot of time and effort to get to where they're today.
Exactly.
You know? But yes, you still get a little bit of that in the old Dubai. When you go to a bar and you ask for a drink, they give you a bullfrog. Or you go to the far ends of the Palm Jumeirah and they will fix you the fanciest old-fashioned or a Negroni. Or you go down to DIFC where you can see the bars of likes of Zuma, Roberto's, and so many other places.
Exactly. So the drink culture when you come here, you mean still continues in some places right now?
It is there, very much there. The old school, you know, you ask for a whiskey, they give you a whiskey soda, that's it. You know, you ask them for a Negroni, they look at you.
They still don't know what is Negroni.
They don't.
Oh
But then again, as I mentioned, you go into DIFC where you find almost 40 restaurants and bars, and if you ask for a Negroni, they will ask you what type of Negroni you want, what type of an old-fashioned you want. So it has developed so much. So it has also come with the people who have come into the industry. We've had some massive personalities come in from Europe. We also had the bar culture developing in India, in Southeast Asia, a little bit in Sri Lanka. And these people have also brought to Dubai what they have learnt, and they have developed it. And as a result, you get some phenomenal drinks, you get mind-blowing menus, ingredients which you thought were not possible are going into drinks to make them to deliver that exciting guest experience.
Exactly. So, back in 99 when you come here, how was the job market, and now what's the people are experiencing right now in the job market? Like for example, in the 1999, I'm sure the people who come just like you, who come from another country to this Dubai, at that time you have enough opportunities. But right now, what we are experiencing, it's becoming a chaos right now. Like so much people are coming in, but the job market is becoming less.
See, what has happened is Dubai has grown as a city. Okay. It's gone from, let's say, 100 bars to 1,000 bars, as an example. Mm-hmm. But they say approximately Dubai itself has close to 20,000 restaurants, bars, cafes, cafeterias, nightclubs, shisha places.
That's a big
number.
So
the city has grown. However, with that growth, the number of people coming into the country has also grown. Now, when we came back in 99, we were recruited directly from our employers and we were brought to Dubai.
Okay.
So for 2 vacancies, I still remember when I went for my vacancy for a senior supervisor, there were 2 positions. There were 150 people who came for that interview.
For 2 positions?
2 positions.
Wow.
And we were 2 guys from the Colombo Hilton. We were actually on duty. Okay. We took the time and we went for the interview. And we got selected.
Okay.
Because
out of that 150?
Out of the 150.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Now, similarly, fast forward 20 years later, similar things are happening, but the thing is now recruiters or hiring managers really have to go to Dubai because people are coming to Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because of the concepts also which are developing in the city, you get European, you get South American, you get Japanese, you get Middle Eastern.
You have everyone.
Owners also have decided that they want to have a diverse nationality.
Yeah.
Now, that's when the challenge comes. So a very experienced bartender coming from Sri Lanka, as an example, or India, he finds it challenging to find a job here because the owners sometimes, fortunately or unfortunately, they want faces.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
So that's when they will hire people from other nationalities. Now, as a result, the job market becomes a bit tricky when people think, okay, I'm a very experienced guy with 5 years of experience behind a bar, but a guy who's been working in, let's say, somewhere in Europe for 1 year, he comes as a bartender.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I was an owner, I would look at talent over face. However, there are so many components when people put concepts together. They want mostly faces, front faces, and that is where the trick comes in. So, job market has become very competitive. Plus, the fact that there are more independent restaurants and bars than in hotels, that has led to a drain from the hotels where people want to move in.
Exactly.
Okay, and everyone is getting attracted to these independent outlets because they pay better salaries, better packages. So hotels are hiring, but they are paying still what they were paying 20 years ago.
That's the main topic.
I mean, unfortunately, a waiter in some hotels, let's say a 5-star hotel, I'm not talking about bartenders, are still getting 1,300 dirhams.
Exactly.
That's what they were paying 20 years ago.
Guys, this was a topic of my last episode. If you guys remember, we talk about the salaries, it is really disaster. It's like 1,300 for a waiter. That's not really enough in Dubai. The living cost is high, and you get the accommodation, but that's another case. But 1,200, what you do in 1,200?
Absolutely. I mean, so someone who wants to grow both professionally and financially, he will always find hotels a bit uninviting. But the only thing I can always say, and I will always say this, is that hotels, I can speak only of Dubai, are always more secure.
Job secure, yes.
Job security is there.
Is there, 100%.
So, going back to the question of hiring itself, the job market, it is sometimes a bit sad to see as well. There are some top professionals who don't get jobs easily.
Yeah,
but a guy who has half his experience gets a job overnight.
Very easy. Yes.
It's tough. It is tough, no doubt.
It is.
I personally, I wish that there can be a fine balance when it comes to jobs. That people are actually given priority for their skills and experience over anything else.
Yeah.
Now, saying that, I get CVs very often.
Mm-hmm.
If you have been a bartender for 10 years in the same place, I find there's something wrong.
Exactly.
Because that person has not wanted to grow.
Yeah.
But if I see a CV, a guy who's been in the same bar for 5 years, but he's been grown from bar back to bartender to head bartender to assistant
bar manager,
and he wants something new, that's fantastic.
Exactly.
But those are very few rare cases.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they get stagnated. They just want to move around from place to place. I mean, I got a CV 3 days ago. A guy's been a bartender since 2012.
2012.
He's still a bartender.
Still a bartender. Wow.
11 years later. And when I asked him why have you not grown, he says, no, I don't have the opportunity. Opportunities are always there for those who seek it.
Exactly.
Okay, so opportunity is not only about someone giving you a job, but it's also developing yourself. Now, especially as I mentioned, the bar industry, it's a lot of studying involved. There are exams, there is so many opportunities.
So many.
There are competitions, there are master classes, which our generous brands provide to the community.
Brand ambassadors
who are going out of the way to sit down with people, meet people, educate them. If you don't use it,
it's your problem.
It's your problem.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You lose.
Oh, enough opportunities to use the social media. You can see per week you have at least 2 or 3 bar takeovers. You can go and meet
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely. I mean, I get guys, oh, I don't have time. No. If you want to find the time, you will always find the time.
Exactly.
Anyway, saying that, let's say
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers for that. So, Mr. Channa, speaking of bar takeovers and the master classes. So, right now, this is a trend of most of everyone doing the brand ambassadors. They're doing bar takeovers. They're doing competitions, which the whole entire UAE will gather together. I hope you remember, I met you in first time in Jim Beam competition.
That's correct.
So, I will take example that you're saying network is the network.
Absolutely.
I learned it from you. So, just give us a little bit, explain about network is the network.
I mean, I often tell guys, see, competing is fantastic. Now, Sarah, some guys, like you said, they don't find the time. I don't have the time. I'm not interested. Okay, that's fine. But a competition, for example, is a good opportunity to get yourself known.
Exactly.
You market yourself. You might not get anything. You might not win. You might not come in the top 50. But you have that. You create that competitive edge. Right? Now, also by competing, you are starting to connect with the community.
Exactly.
You start building yourself. Now, I often encourage everyone, whether you're a bartender, waiter, manager, use LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a very useful tool to promote yourself. You can write down anything. You can post pictures. You can talk. You can post videos. It's an opportunity. It's a free opportunity to promote yourself. I often look at, again, going back to a bit of recruitment, I see their LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah.
There are some guys, fantastic CV, LinkedIn is empty, Instagram is empty.
Exactly.
So who's going to know about you?
Only you.
Only yourself.
Only yourself.
You tell yourself every day, I'm great, but nobody else knows.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe your 2 best friends will know you're a great bartender. Okay?
Or your previous boss know you're a bartender.
But nobody else knows. So you need to use those opportunities to market yourself.
Exactly.
And that's how one of the ways you build your network, You build your network, you talk to people, you meet people. There's a guy who's looking for jobs. I tell him, listen, go and meet a few bar managers. The least they can say is they don't have a job. But at least you're showing your face. Anyone can send a CV.
Exactly.
It's a piece of paper.
Exactly.
Okay? But when they put a name, hey, Anupa, I know the guy. I met him the other day. Let me give him a call. Let me invite him for a coffee. People should understand that.
Exactly.
So your network is your absolute network.
Exactly.
Especially in an industry when, again, the industry is big in Dubai, but the city is small. It's a small village.
Small.
Everyone knows everyone, But unless you show your face, unless you go and talk to the brand ambassador, introduce yourself, have a conversation, go for a coffee, can I learn something from you? And a lot of people, they are willing to do that. Exactly. They're happy to do that.
They're happy to do that.
Yes, they are busy. Some of them are flying all over the place. I'll take an example. We have Nana.
Oh yeah, the big legend.
Who is hardly in Dubai because of his representations, but he never says no to a meetup.
Exactly.
We have Yulia, we have Mallory, we have Brakshit, we have all these gentlemen, professionals who really would take a time if you're interested.
Exactly. They are so humble, Just message and just DM in the Instagram. If you message to Nana in the Instagram, he will definitely reply you, no matter how busy he is.
True.
That is the one thing in the Dubai, like brand ambassadors and everyone, they are so humble. Like for me, when I'm starting this podcast, if you remember, I just text 2-3 guys. They are the one who give me everything about, bro, you should do it this way, that way. So all the brand ambassadors, all the big peoples here, big profiles, they are so humble that you can ask literally anything from them. They will definitely reply you. So what I'm saying to the people, what I'm saying to the job seekers in Dubai, you should get to know these people and talk with them and have a meetup. Then definitely you can find something. The people who are still looking for a job in UAE.
True.
And another thing I want to talk about the recruitment process. The HR. It's been a big topic. I've seen a lot of groups. We are talking about this. From my experience, last 2 years, I've seen there are some HRs. There are very nice HR who are taking good care of the employees. But there are some HRs who just in charge for only hiring process and the firing process. In between the employee, you will not get anything. So what are your thoughts about that?
See, human resource is a very, very tricky subject. Like you said, yes, I have to say I agree to a certain extent. Human resources comes into the picture where they hire, and then the next time you see them is when they fire you. Exactly. Or when you're resigning and going. Okay, let's be fair. However, my experience going back to many, many years, when HR is the sole responsibility of human resources department is to identify the right candidates, get them on board, develop them further along the way. Now, they don't do it themselves alone. There's learning and development, there are managers, so on and so forth, Now, they need to practice what they preach.
Exactly.
Some of them don't. I'm sorry to say this, it's not the whiskey talking, but they are fantastic at accepting awards, writing fantastic posts, but the reality is different.
Yeah.
But saying that there are some fantastic HRs who really go out of the way, the door is always open. I mean, I worked with a lady a couple of years ago. She was excellent, Mm-hmm. She never takes sides. If, for example, if a manager goes and complains about a member of staff, she says, hang on, she calls the staff. Let's sit down and discuss.
Let me talk to your story.
Yeah, let's talk together.
Yeah.
Or if a waiter goes and says, oh, my manager is like that, my F&B is giving me a hard time. Okay, hang on. Oh, that's very bad. Let me call your boss. Let's have a discussion. So she always found a way to balance things.
A balance.
To educate and to develop, and also at the same time to discipline the wrong party. Mm-hmm. Whether it was a waiter, the manager, it didn't matter to her. But she stood her ground. She supported people. She knew people more.
Wow.
She would never entertain anyone going single-handedly.
Okay.
You know, she would always document things. So she did a fantastic job. There are a few like that, but a lot of HRs, unfortunately, again, their roles have become big. Some of them have been given cluster roles, more than one property, one restaurant, one bar. So
Your
the
workload
has also increased. But saying that, I agree with you. A lot of people, very unfortunately, have less regard for the HR department because of the way they conduct themselves. I mean, I used to work a couple of years ago, many years ago. The HR would actually walk around the hotel 2-3 times a week. They go to different departments, not meetings, just, hi guys, how are you? How's everything? How's the food in the cafeteria? How's the accommodation? How are you doing with your colleagues? How she'll join a briefing or discuss a few things. Hey guys, this is going on. So a lot of HRs now, they think by playing a carom game or doing a pizza night is employee motivation.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I've seen.
I mean, I love, for example, birthday cake. I love birthday cake for my birthday. But then again, that's not a way of fixing things.
Exactly.
We are all human beings. Some are young, some are fresh, and they need that sometimes, that guidance, that little holding hands from HR department. And very few are doing it.
Exactly.
I'm sure maybe someone will see this afterwards and they're going to say, hey, what's this guy talking about? It's the truth.
It's the truth, and we are not talking about all the HR. There are some good HR, exactly. Like if you take 100, the 20%, I think I'm not judging everyone, but at least 20% are doing good. I've seen some HRs doing good, but the most.
The issue with job seekers have with HRs is that HRs never get back to them.
Yeah.
Listen, Channa, thanks for coming for the interview. However, you did not make it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That much they don't do.
Yeah. They just ignore, right?
Yeah. So
that's what happens.
That's where you actually kill self-confidence. What did I do wrong? That person doesn't know. I mean, I went for I'll give you a good story. 2 years ago,
Okay.
I went for an interview. The guy told me, listen, 3 days to 4 days, I'll get back to you. Maximum end of next week.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for that call. I applied for a job again many years ago in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
I was thinking of going back. This was before COVID. So they were opening. They had a role of an F&B director. I sent in my CV. I connected with the HR. I dropped a simple message, hey, by the way, I applied for the job, just to say hello.
Okay.
2 years later, she replies to me.
2 years later.
She replies to me asking me for a job. So it was very funny. It was very funny, yes. So I said, by the way, I think that job is taken. And, she was a bit, I said, listen, if you want to find the time, you will find the time. Simple as that. And that's what I tell everyone. Do not give excuses for shortage of time. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Find the time. If you don't know, make yourself a schedule. I still write down. Even though I work sometimes from home, sometimes I go to meet clients, I go to meet people, I always write a to-do list.
To-do list. Exactly.
Maybe 10 items, I'll do 2 items, so I'll carry the next 8 for the next day.
Next day. That's a really good point.
A to-do list is very important.
So really. Out of the topic, today we have House of Santori, Yamasaki, 12 years old. What do you think about the flavor? Just say cheers first.
Cheers to that. No, I absolutely think it's a great mix for the old-fashioned this evening.
Exactly.
It's got a lot of smokiness. It's got a certain amount of sweetness to it, so it gives the drink itself a nice balance. In the past, I would probably have an old-fashioned with probably Woodford, which is a great drink as well.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I think this is a very close match to giving out a drink with some exceptional flavors. There's no overpowering flavors overall.
Speaking about Yamasaki, Japanese culture, I talk about my first episode also. Now it's like everywhere is Japanese. Personally, I'm working in a Japanese restaurant right now. I feel like now, the trend and everything is Japanese. This House of Santori take a huge role of the industry right now. Especially our Yulia, she taking major part of the industry right now with the brand ambassador of the House of Santori. we need to give her credit. And thank you so much for introducing us the House of Santori.
Oh, absolutely. I think the Japanese culture itself, people are so inclined to it because of, I think, the disciplines they have. They're very cultured as people. Whatever they do is to perfection.
Exactly.
There is no messing around with them.
Exactly.
Either they get it right or they don't do it. So you can. Likewise, now the whiskies which they have come up with, top shelf.
Hibiki.
The range is
super top
exceptional. And the Beam Suntory as a group, they are taking over and they manage so many brands across the globe.
Exactly.
And I think that's a great thing.
Great thing, very great thing.
So yes, so here's one more time. Cheers to
Julia and this House of Santori.
Absolutely.
Cheers. So by the way, do you have any plan to open a bar or restaurant in future? Maybe, who knows?
I do actually. This is something that I wanted to really do for a long time.
Okay. Okay. And cheers for that.
Many years ago, of course, I saw myself in a different direction, where I thought, by the age of I'm 40, I'm going to be a general manager, so on and so forth. But of course, sometimes plans don't go as they are. But I've always continued in F&B, I continued in restaurants, a bit of hotel operations. But yes, I still have that love
dream
to open my own place. It can be a burger joint, it can be a Sri Lankan restaurant, I don't know. But yes, I would really love to do something given the opportunity. And Dubai is the right place to start.
Exactly.
For anyone. But you have to know the business. Simple as that.
You need to know the competition, what we are facing right now.
The competition is very high.
Very high. It's very high.
I mean, whether you're running a cafeteria or whether you're running a high-end bar, the competition is extremely, extremely high. So you really have to have a bit of a plan before you get into something. But yes, I would love to do something soon. Who knows? 2024, you never know.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
So, tell me, what is your advice for the young hospitality, the people who are just started the hospitality in industry, and or the people who come looking for a job, for job seekers?
Back in 1995, going almost 30 years ago,
okay,
I had a senior captain or a supervisor who told me three things.
Okay, I'm interested.
Know your job.
Okay.
That is what's very important. Always know your job.
Your job role, what you have to do.
He also told me two other things which actually struck me. He said, don't trust anyone. Okay. Now, I know it's very difficult thing to say, don't trust anyone. But there are certain things as you grow in position, in roles, in environments, you don't want to trust everyone with everything.
Okay.
Sometimes, he used to tell me, my left hand doesn't trust my right hand.
Wow.
Wow. So, trust can lead you into problems. Okay. But also something which I learned later on is, if you don't have trust in certain things, it's difficult to grow as well.
Okay.
But very important is that you don't lose trust in yourself. That is important.
That's really
Third
important.
thing was, I'm not allowed to say this, but he said, you need to be an A-grade bad person to succeed in the industry.
Okay, that's an interesting question.
If you are nice, people will always take advantage of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now
I'm experiencing this right now.
Okay. So, I'm not saying you need to be a bad person.
Okay.
But you need to be a firm person. You need to be a disciplined person. If you want to move ahead.
Okay.
And something which I continue to say is never stop learning. And that is one way of growing. You push yourself to learn things, educate yourself, whether it's going for classes, studying online, going to university, taking some time off, because education will always pay. Okay?
Exactly.
You have to have the want to learn, whether you're a bartender, whether you're a waiter, whether you're a chef, whether you're checking in, checking out, someone at the reception,
Whether you're
even the guy at the
housekeeping.
concierge. If you don't want to learn, if he doesn't learn things, if he doesn't learn what's happening in Dubai, he's just going to be another guy. So learning is very important.
Exactly.
Okay? Knowing your job is very important. No point saying I worked for a bartender for 5 years, but all you know is 10 cocktails.
Exactly.
You know?
That's
So this is where I always insist on people. Last but not the least, self-marketing is very important.
market yourself.
You need to market yourself if you want to grow. You need to show the world who you are.
Exactly.
Okay? No point, like I said earlier on, sitting in the bathroom saying, I'm number one, I'm the best, I'm this, but no one knows about it.
And if you check his Instagram, it's only his poses, and somewhere the vacations and everything, only pictures of that in your Instagram. There's no point of you being a top 10 bartender or the highest paid bartender or whatever. If you're not showing your passion through your social media or whatever, just you are nothing. You are just
You have these opportunities. 10 years ago, these opportunities were not
Was
there.
not there.
Okay. Now we have. Last 5 years, things have grown. You have your Instagram, you have your
LinkedIn.
you have your TikTok, you have Twitter, you have Facebook. No one apparently uses Facebook anymore, but it's there.
it's there, still there.
You can create your own website. I mean, how many guys have their own website? A website costs you 150 dirhams a year. You just need to build it.
Exactly.
So domains are there, opportunities are there. There are people to do all those things for you. Use that. Use your money, whatever you earn. You invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah. Don't invest in the bar alone. Don't invest in shopping alone. Don't invest only on your girlfriend or your boyfriend.
Exactly.
Invest in yourself as well, for education, for growth, for self-development.
Invest in yourself first, then you invest on
Everything
other
else.
stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you said the right word. Invest in yourself first and invest in everything else later. That's going to pay off
That's
first.
a really good point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, please.
How long have you been a bartender?
It's now more than 7 years.
What's your favorite drink? And why?
Okay, that's really nice question. Old fashioned, of course. Yes, and I love. I'm not like a big whiskey lover, but old fashioned. If you talk about the old fashioned cocktail, I always, if I go to a bar, any bar, if I go bar hunting to any bar, I'm always asking for old fashioned first. Let me try the old fashioned first, and let me judge you. I'm not judging the bartender, but let me judge the quality of the bar and the quality of the overall. So my personal favorite is old fashioned always.
So, let me interrupt you.
Okay.
Where do you find the best old fashioned in Dubai?
That's a tricky question, I think my personal favorite is Koya. I went to Koya one time and had a chance to sit on the bar counter, and I ordered old fashioned, and I was like, it was so balanced, well balanced, and I love the way they present it with the big ice cubes and the seal on top, and it says everything. Hospitality starts when I go inside the Koya. The first second I enter the restaurant, that's the time the hospitality starts in Koya. That's the best experience so far I had. My point of view as a guest.
As a guest, okay.
Not as a bartender.
Fair enough. Good. Then let me check out Koya next time.
Please. So guys, our podcast is about to be end, and it's not the last episode with Channa. We will have more episodes, more things are coming up. We have more activities and all these things coming up with Mr. Channa. Thank you so much for hanging with us into the end. And guys, I just want to say we are shooting right now in a live operating bar, which is Scottish Pub. You will hear maybe some sounds of cricket and football is going on because the restaurant is in operation right now. Just don't mind me that. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for being with us, and hope to see you with more episodes. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Channa. It's your time and everything. Thank you so much for giving a big support to my.
It was my absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. Guys, those who are watching this, please don't forget to subscribe,
Please.
like, comment, share, send it to your boyfriends, girlfriends, aunties, Instagram, and Support the Drunk Podcast.
Guys, it's gonna be
Cheers.
more. Cheers, and it's gonna be more videos, more educational stuff. Actually, today episode we are talking more productive things. It's been more serious topics and everything, and that's really good. It's really good points we are talking about, and there's many more will be come soon, and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.